arch unit, and we're just going to go real quickly through how you set it up. And sorry, it's not professionally done, but there's two groups. There's a group with black writing on it, and then there's a group with red writing on it. And so you want to keep those groups separate because they're not identical, so it's important that those groups stay separate. And then there's boards. And so the very first thing you do is you're going to find a board, and again, you have black writing on one, and that one has red writing on it. So the first thing you do is these are the uprights that are going to support the arch. So you'll see there's an A under here and an A under there, so those match up. There's a B and a B, a C and a D. So you're gonna, I'm just gonna do this quickly, I'm not gonna do it the whole way, but you just put the screw up like that. It goes on, there's a hole in there, it just feeds down on top of it, and then there's a nut and a washer. And when you're doing this for real, you are going to want to use a wrench on the bottom, a screwdriver on the top and a wrench on the bottom to get this really tight, because there's going to be a lot of weight pushing against these. Oh, and I'm sorry, the flat part is pointed in on each side. The flat point goes in. So when you put this up for real, you're going to use a wrench and a screwdriver to get it really tight, and you're going to have to do that again throughout the day, because as the weight gets pushed on these, they'll loosen, and you need these really tight in order to support the weight. So after you've got it set up, we already have this one set up, the blocks are going to be numbered. So level 1, just like you're reading, 1, 1, this is the level, and this is the first block, left to right. So 1, 1, 1, 2, and then the ones go up, then you've got 2, 1, 2, 2, it continues on, and you're gonna build it. Now, as you take it apart throughout the day, or at first, when the kids are building it, you're gonna see how these are separated. You're gonna wanna try to keep them, number 1, level or in the middle of the uprights, and 2, you want these to stay as straight as you can. So if you have this block pushed out like this, it's not gonna be as stable. So you wanna try to keep that as level, and tell the kids to do that. And also, when you take it apart, I'm gonna get the 4s, when you take it apart, you're gonna want to try to keep the levels, the 4s together, the 3s together, the 2s together. It just goes faster if you do it that way. So the 4s start, and this is where your arch pieces start to go. The 5s. So 5, 1, 5, 2, and again, you're just kind of straightening as you go. And the arch pieces, at one point, they're going to get a little tricky. And I can't remember, I haven't looked at this in years, so I'll figure it out as we go. And the kids, they always have to figure it out too, but it's kind of good to let them fight through it. Now, basically, the long part is always going to be on the outer part of the arch, and the small part's going to be on the smallest part of the arch. And so you can kind of work through that logic with them. So I think the dots are basically telling you that those dots go to the outside. And here you'll see that I'm sliding in. This middle piece, you'll want to learn what it's called. It's terrible that I don't know. But this little ramp goes in here to hold that arch up. So you can see as it's pushed up now that it's at the right height to support the arch pieces. And so when they build arches, they have to build a frame to accommodate that. So that's basically 5, 6. I knew that was too slow. And this little guy, I guess, just fits in on the side like that. Okay. Each one was kind of done by hand and kind of done, so that's why each piece is distinct, or each side is distinct. Okay, so the 6
does it matter about this piece here, whether it goes in the front or the back? It just needs to support that.
It just needs to support it, and again, there's a red one and a red one and a black one.
Okay.
But it doesn't, as long as it's basically in the middle, you should be good.
Okay.
And there's a little bit of play in these things. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And sometimes over here, it makes sense to go ahead and like build your outside pieces or it might make sense to build your outside pieces. So 6-3. Oh, see, I just did it the wrong way. I just put the close side in. Remember, the long side always faces out. So the kids are going to struggle with that.
Oh yeah, because I would think so far all the numbers have been
Yes.
on top. But
So they're going to kind of
long
struggle with
piece
that.
goes out.
And so just telling them, I mean, it takes more distance for the outside of the arch than the inside of the arch. So that's kind of part of the learning on this. And they
There's a
kind of
trick there.
and they kind of got to struggle through it, but they will get there. And also, like, you can kind of see that was raised up. You just kind of got to push it, move it a little bit. So I just moved this piece down from the very highest level, because you see that kind of was pushing everything out of whack there. So I moved it down to the risers, and it kind of fell into place. So you have to massage it a little bit. But you'll see, and it's also easiest to kind of have the kids, if you split the kids into 2 groups, and you have one group working on the black side, one group working on the red side, they can kind of build the 2 arches right next to each, or facing each other. So that was 6-3, so 6-4 is going to be next. Wait, it's going to be next. It's going to work. Hang on, how does it work? Let's see. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this, but we'll get there. So 6-7, 6-6. Oh, did I do this wrong? What did I do? Oh, you know what I did? Okay. See, I'm no better than, who's smarter than a 5th grader? I didn't put the long side to the outside of the arch. I put it like down. So again, that looked wrong because it was wrong. So you see there, it's right. And so now, and so now, since I lowered this, it's too low now, so I'm pushing it back up to kind of get it back into place. Okay, everything's good. Okay. And so that was 6-4, so 6-5 is going to go here. Oh, that was 6-4.
Okay.
Sorry.
6-4, 6-5, so 6.
Yeah. So that's piece will kind of, you know, they're going to twist it different ways, but that's kind of the one place where you can really kind of get a little.
So all those dots pretty much going to be on one side?
Yes, all the dots are facing the outer part of the arch. And let's see, so 7-1, 7-2. 7-3.
Yay.
Uh-oh.
That's great.
And you can see we've gotten a little out of whack below.
There.
Oh, and then this is, I didn't see the veneer on this. That's called the keystone. And this is terrible that I didn't review my architecture in advance because I'm not an architect, so I don't know the terms. But this is the keystone, I believe is the right phrase. And that's like the locking part. Oh, we've got somebody behind. He knows what he's talking about. And so that's the piece that will lock it all together. And so so you want to kind of tighten everything up, so make sure everything's straight underneath it. And what you're going to do, if you're doing this at the same time, you've got half the kids working over here. So you will have built the black arch right next to it, and probably about 4 or 5 feet apart. And after you've got them both up, you can put boards across the top, probably 2. If they're this thin, there's going to be flex in it, so you probably want to double up. But it will support, I can't remember how many we've had, easily 4 kids. You want to have them like sit gently on it, like you don't want to have them push into it. They kind of have to sit up and go straight down on it, because again, you want the pressure going straight down, not pushing it out. So you'll want to be careful with it, but it can definitely support weight, and that's kind of a neat thing to do with them. You're going to drop it down like this.
Oh, you pull that out?
Yeah, I'm sorry, you pull this out, you just slide it out. And then when you slide it out, it holds.
Oh, nice.
And
wow.
And it will support, it'll support weight. So
how long does this activity usually take?
You know, it depends on how how long, it's been a while. I mean, you can, as you take it apart, and I would definitely, it's so much fun. Like the kids are gonna wanna like, if you take the keystone out, it's fun because the whole thing crumbles. And that's kind of like a learning point, but at the same time, this is pine and it's really soft and it's not gonna hold up. And my dad made it and he would cry. So you can kind of tell him that, but it's really better to, and it'll go faster on the setup if you like have them take the 7s down and the 6s down and the 3s down, and that'll give you more time to talk about the architecture at the beginning and also get the pictures of the kids at the end because it's fun to get their pictures and just have it really show that without any glue, without any nails, without any, it's supported on the sides of course, but that it will hold. And if you want to come in, we've got an architect. Do you want to come and
Oh, well, actually, I built this last year. I was part of that whole thing last year. So.
What's your name?
I'm Joel.
Joel. Okay.
Do you have any architecture tips? What did you share with them?
Well, honestly, I was talking about the way the forces kind of push out, and the fact that these side pieces act as buttresses.
Yeah.
So it holds all that together horizontally. But then exactly what you said, the keystone really is the key. So you pull that out, the whole thing crumbles. And we'll want to tear it down. It's inevitable. But one of the things that I did was I actually made it part of the exercise. I say, that's fine. You can take it down, or you can knock it down, have it go all over the place, but you guys are going to have to put it together in order so then the next team, when they come in, they're not searching for where's 1A, 2B, that sort of thing. So, because it's nice to be able to lay it out so the next group can come in and assemble it in a orderly way. So.
Yeah, I would, definitely like flying buttresses or what all the cathedrals in Europe are supported by and how they get the great heights and things. So learning a little bit about that. And the forces, and definitely when the kids are sitting on it, sometimes we would have a chair so that the kids would kind of stand on the chair and then sit down on the board, rather than trying to push themselves up on the board, because that's going to create all sorts of motion that's not going to be good. I think that's it.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you all.
Yep.